Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. HBO dropped a brand new trailer for House of the Dragon Season 3, so we'll break it all down. They're in the middle of the UK red carpet premiere, too, so that's probably why you're seeing their feed go so crazy with all the actors coming to the red carpet. We're getting so much new Winter Wolves footage and new Sheep Stealer footage. I feel like this is a good time to break out Longclaw again. I haven't used this in a little while. Starting at the beginning of the footage, we have Rhaenyra inside the Red Keep. This is after they've taken the Iron Throne in King's Landing. She's holding her father's crown and is about to put it on her head. And this is meant to be connected to the same scene, the same moment. At the end of the trailer, they bookend it with her saying, "There can be no doubt who the gods have chosen to rule," with it sounding kind of like she's starting to drink her own prophecy Kool-Aid. This is a very Targaryen thing for her to do. Daenerys wound up doing similar things later in the timeline. But she's holding her father's crown, she's about to put it on her head. It seems like she's about to go to the Iron Throne room and sit on the actual throne itself. They cut the audio for the trailer in this interesting way where they do the rhythmic pounding of the Winter Wolves that are banging on their shields as they've arrived at the battle. I think the particular battle where they're banging on their shields is probably Tumbleton at the very end of the season. Led by the one and only Roderick Dustin, aka Roddy the Ruin, played by Tommy Flanagan from Sons of Anarchy. He is going to wreck this season. The Winter Wolves are absolutely crazy. They're basically like a group of older Stark men that come to fight with Rhaenyra. When they eventually do show up during one of the big battles this season, it's probably going to be the Fish Feed, maybe combined with the Battle of Red Fork. I think that would be like the first big battle we see them early in the season. They come out of the tree line and declare that they have arrived to die for the Dragon Queen, talking about Rhaenyra, because they all expect to die during the battle, and they're not afraid of it. One of the really cool and really hardcore details of Stark lore in the Game of Thrones world is that during very harsh winters, often the older men, like older people inside families, will leave so that the younger people have a better chance of surviving and more food available to them if there is a shortage.
Duty is sacrifice.
So it's one of the reasons why the Winter Wolves sent down by Cregan Stark are particularly older men, and you don't see like a lot of younger people there, because the older people are ready to sacrifice themselves, so they don't want the younger people to die. Like, they have much longer lives to lead and more to offer to the society up in the north. Like, we're all old and we're gonna die soon anyway, no matter what, so we might as well die for this great cause. Honor and duty. You're just thinking of Ned Stark in the background. Then I actually think they cut this in a really misleading way. So Ormund Hightower with the Greens is at Tumbleton, but I don't think he's looking at Daemon, because right after this you see a very bloody Daemon smiling in Caraxes behind him. I think this is actually at the Fish Feed or at Red Fork, and he's seeing the Winter Wolves show up, and like he's very pleased, like, aha, this is gonna be awesome. Also, this scene of Daemon in the open field after a big battle, like he's finishing off, like double tapping a couple people here with his Valyrian sword, Dark Sister, is probably at Fish Feed or Red Fork, like the same big battle where they meet the Winter Wolves. Like I've said, there are a number of major and minor battles during the Dance of the Dragons, and I think they're only getting like 3 notable ones during the season, but they could always pull a burning mill with some of the smaller ones. Like in Season 2, they just showed you the lead up and then the aftermath of Burning Mill. They skipped the actual battle itself. We get a real quick scene of Corlys Velaryon's ship at the beginning of the Battle of the Gullet. It used to be called the Sea Snake, which was his nickname, but he renamed it after Rhaenys' death at Rook's Rest, and now he calls it the Queen Who Never Was, and the figure on the bow is meant to depict her in her dragon scale armor. Then this other new character next to Ormund Hightower is actually Jon Roxton, also called Bold Jon Roxton. You probably recognize him as Brasso from Andor. One of the cooler bits of lore about him is that he wields the Valyrian sword Orphan Maker. It's a long sword that belonged to House Roxton, and it makes him extra deadly in battles. Ormund Hightower also wields a Valyrian sword called Vigilance, so both of them have Valyrian weapons. We're still at a point in history before a lot of the Valyrian weapons that the great houses, the other houses, own across the realm. Later during the timeline, closer to the events of the main series, a lot of them have been lost through a number of different ways, after big battles or people stealing them or just selling them off to the east. We get another shot of Daemon and Rhaenyra flying to King's Landing with the Dragon Seeds and their dragons. So we have Vermithor, Silverwing, Caraxes, and Syrax here, all flying to take King's Landing. Like, this is before they've actually taken the Iron Throne. Committing war crimes. I don't think this is till episode 2, or like the very end of episode 2. We'll see how they do this as maybe like a cliffhanger with them flying towards King's Landing. We get a bunch more scenes of the actual Battle of the Gullet with the dragons just opening fire on everything, just baking everybody. And a lot more new footage of Rhaenyra in Sheepstealer. I know people have just been waiting seasons and seasons to see what they're going to do with Sheepstealer. There were other wild dragons during this part of the timeline, like the Cannibal and Grey Ghost, but I don't know if they're going to include them in Season 3. We'll see if they reference them. Maybe somebody will just talk about them in passing. You could definitely tell this season they dedicated a big portion of the budget to the dragons, up the dragon budget a bunch. We get a couple more scenes of Aemond inside Harrenhal. Most of it is footage that we've seen in previous trailers with him showing up in his armor and just laying waste to all the Strongs and burning everything in sight with Vhagar. We've gotten a couple scenes of Alys Rivers, and in the last trailer, you actually see Aemond handing a dragon egg to what seems like her, so he might actually give her a dragon egg. Maybe it's because she might get pregnant, which is also something from the books that they might wind up doing. Everybody post your theories about that, like how they're going to pay off Aemond with Alys Rivers. They supposedly had a relationship in the books, but because of the way they reinterpret the book story for this period during the actual show, we'll see how they wind up changing or adapting that. Whatever's actually going down at Harrenhal this season with Aemond, it seems like Alys Rivers is in control of everything at pretty much every step, like she's playing four-dimensional chess with the help of the Three-Eyed Raven. And I love the way that they cut the scene of Daemon right after Aemond, too, to make it seem like they're close to each other when they're really on completely different parts of the realm. This is him in King's Landing. He's nowhere near Aemond, who's still at Harrenhal. Everybody keeps asking about the battle over the God's Eye and Aemond versus Daemon. I don't think they're going to do that till anywhere near Season 4. They're going to push that as far ahead as they can. But I do expect when they start dropping those Season 4 trailers, because it's the final season, they'll heavily use those battle over the God's Eye scenes to market the season itself. Really hype stuff. We get another scene of the Battle of the Gullet with a couple of the other dragons. I think this one in the foreground is Baela on Moondancer, and the one in the background is Jace on Vermax. I'm expecting some changes with the way they adapted the Battle of the Gullet. In the books, the Blacks had 6 dragons there. It was Jace on Vermax, all 3 of the dragon seeds, Seasmoke, Vermithor, and Silverwing, Sheepstealer, although it was on Nettles, not Rhaenyra. And one big change they will definitely make is Aegon III flying on his baby dragon Stormcloud briefly. On the show, Stormcloud is way too small to ride, so we will also see how they change the subplot for Aegon III and Viserys II. You also remember Rhaenyra's children with Daemon were sent with dragon eggs, so you just have to keep tabs on that in the background, even though we don't see them anywhere during the trailers. It's still a pretty important plot point. Their ship was supposed to take them to the east, but it's taking them right into the path of the Triarchy, who's coming for Corlys's fleet. So right as the Battle of the Gullet is getting ready to go down. So it's the worst place to be for Rhaenyra's children. Then we get this really freaky scene of Rhaenyra being super pissed at Baela, grabbing her face like that. That's a total power move on her part, boss move. She sounds like she's giving her some kind of order, trying to put her in her place as queen. Or Baela was trying to challenge her on something, it said something out of turn, and then pissed her off. But because the scene is at the Red Keep, I'm assuming this is after they take King's Landing and the Iron Throne. So everybody is in the Red Keep while this is happening. You can all let me know why you think Rhaenyra is so pissed off at Baela, when Baela seems like she supports the Blacks. She probably just wants to do something that Rhaenyra does not want her to do, hell no, do what I tell you to do. It just seems like the last couple of trailers have depicted Rhaenyra becoming more and more aggressive during Season 3 in general. In the books, the small folk eventually call her Maegor with teats, and it's this big slight on her. There were a couple of scenes in the last trailer where the small folk were graffitiing around King's Landing trying to call her out for stuff like that. So a really big reminder is that during Season 3, even though she might be taking the Iron Throne and be sitting as queen the way that she originally wanted to, all is not well, the war is far from being over. Tides can change for all kinds of reasons. But notice a very cool shot, this is very loaded here, where you see Aegon in the woods in night talking to a bunch of his supporters here with Larys Strong, and he's looking up in the sky. Notice how his eyes turn up into the sky. So this might be the reveal that Sunfire is still alive, because we see a dragon mysteriously burn people inside of a cave in a place that we can't quite tell where it is. So early theory, this might be Sunfire recovering after the events of Season 2. Everybody post all your theories about this scene of Aegon, though. Why would he be looking up in the sky in the middle of the night if it weren't Sunfire?
Whoa, whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come.
Then one of the other surprises that's not something from the books, this seems like something that the show is adding completely whole cloth, is what looks like Alysanne inside Harrenhal, because notice the vines growing across the wall next to the doors here. This looks just like the architecture and like the vibe of Harrenhal. What is she doing at Harrenhal? Does it have something to do with Aemond and what's going on with Alys Rivers in the Strongs this season? Based on the other trailer footage, we see Alysanne trying to counsel him to leave King's Landing with Vhagar because it's over. Rhaenyra's coming with all of her dragons to take the city, and she tries to get him to go to Harrenhal, it sounds like. Maybe she tries to get him to go somewhere else first, and he decides to go to Harrenhal, thinking that Daemon is going to be there, because that's the way the book records it, is that he thought he would catch Daemon and his army unawares at Harrenhal, but by the time he arrives at Harrenhal with Vhagar, nobody is there. Everybody has bailed, like the Black Army has bailed and gone to other places. Daemon himself tricks Aemond, coming all the way back to Dragonstone, leaving him unawares so that he can take Caraxes with Syrax and Rhaenyra and the other dragon seeds and take King's Landing, while Aemond is away going to Harrenhal, thinking that he's going to catch everybody there. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below, and if you think you spotted any Easter eggs or references in the trailer that I didn't talk about in this video or my previous trailer videos, just write them below in the comments, or if you have any questions you want me to add to my future bonus videos. Now that we're getting really close to the season actually premiering and episode 1 dropping, we'll probably get a couple more clips. I'll do whatever videos for whatever they do wind up releasing. Be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of that. Everybody click here and here for all my other House of the Dragon Season 3 trailer videos too. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.